My most humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Baba. Sai Ram. This is so wonderful to see all of you here. And we are very, very grateful to Swami for sending for us some very wonderful people. Brother Jack Ahearn from Dallas, his wife, Sister Sally, and his grandson, Brother Tim. He's going to be talking to us about a very, very interesting topic, and that is who we really are, and how do we get there, and how do we stay there. And so to introduce our special speaker for today, we have Brother Mahesh. He is our regional vice president, and he'll say a few words of introduction. Thank you, Sai Ram.
Loving Sai Ram to all of you. Welcome everyone to this really special occasion, and really delighted to have Brother Jack from Dallas here with us today, and really honored to introduce you today. Brother Jack grew up in Brooklyn, New York, just a little colder than Texas. He did his bachelor's and master's at Gannon University in social science, and he served as a first lieutenant in the infantry during the Cuban crisis, and later on he worked as a human resources executive during his business career. He has with him today his best friend and wife, Sister Sally. Welcome, Sister Sally. Delighted to have you as well. Both Brother Jack and Sister Sally got introduced to Swami in 1994, and they've visited India a few times to see Swami, about 6 times, I believe. And during one of those interviews, Swami presented them an orange robe, which they still maintain in their altar in Dallas. Brother Jack has been a very committed SSE teacher for almost 3 decades. And as with most of us, he's got his favorite quotes of Swami. And I believe, any guesses? The very popular quotes of Swami. Love all, serve all, and help ever, hurt never. And Brother Jack has also learned and taught the 5 human values to SSE children at the Dallas Eye Center, and very active member of the study circle as well. And on the family front, Brother Jack and Sister Sally have 5 children, 10 grandchildren, 10 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. And really happy to have you, Brother Tim. Thank you for bringing them here today. And with that, I'd like to welcome Brother Jack, and please take it away from here. Sai Ram.
Okay, can you hear me okay now? Okay. And today I want to talk about consciousness levels and how we can grow. And one of the things that I am positive of, that the more we grow and the more work we do, the more love we get from Swami. And there's one bhajan that I must sing it 15 times a day. I keep feeling your love in me over and over again. I keep feeling your love in me over and over again. And it's sweeter and sweeter as the days go by. Oh, what a love between my sigh and My sigh and I, my sigh and I. Oh, what a love between my sigh and I. And the more I get involved and the deeper I go, the deeper his love is for me. I want to talk a little bit about consciousness levels. There was a fellow by the name of David Hawkins. I think it was 95, wrote a book on consciousness. And I think that's the way to make the world a better place, higher consciousness levels. And he validated, this is through kinesiology, the different consciousness levels. And he wrote a book, Power versus Force. And force as a consciousness level comes from a lower level where you have to use force to get your way. And the higher you go, the higher levels we go, it becomes more powerful, and we have it internal, and we don't have to use power to get our force to get our way. We use our internal power, which is good. And he rated all these different characteristics, and he rated it from a scale of 20 to 1,000. And these are validated now. And the lowest level on the scale is shame. And it goes up from, but not by much, from shame to guilt, to apathy, to fear, desire, anger, and pride. And he maintains that these levels are all below the 200 level. And if we set in with these levels, we start doing things out of ego and our own selfish needs inside, and we use force to get to where we want to get to. But as we get higher up the scale, courage, neutrality, willingness, then love, joy, peace, enlightenment, and love. The higher up we go on the field of consciousness, the better off we are. It's almost like some people say activism is the best way to make the world a better place, and sometimes it is. But if you're active and you're so angry in your activism that you can't stand the other side, all that negative energy goes right to the universe, and it attracts other people. But if you're loving and you're kind, all that energy goes out too. And it's almost like our journey is a journey from selfishness to selflessness. And I could not read Power versus Force without being convinced that Swami wrote it through David Hawkins. Because he talked about everything that Swami talked about. So what we want to do is raise our consciousness level from the force area to the power area. And I can't think of any other way to do it than singing this beautiful Spanish bhajans. And the thing that I want to focus on is that I honestly believe that it's a lot easier than some of us think it is. It takes, we have to do it slowly but surely, and we have to go through a process. When I first came, Sally and I wouldn't be here without Sally. Sally was convinced Sai Baba was God before I was. She insisted we join the Sai Center, which we did, and she insisted we go to India in 1995. And once I got there, I was hooked. And it wasn't for Sally, I don't think I'd be here right now. Sally loved Swami so much, and Swami loved Sally so much that when we had an interview, he gave her one of his orange robes. So when I first started at the Sai Center, I left the Catholic Church, and I was agnostic for about 20 years. And I knew, after a while, this was a path that I wanted to take, and I was overwhelmed. Irish Catholic guy from Brooklyn, I didn't know anything about meditation, reincarnation, all this stuff, holidays. And I thought, I can't do this. So one day, I was home listening to Irish music. I love Irish music. And there was an Irish song. The English say it's their song, but it's really an Irish song. And the Irish sing this song. It's called the Garden Song. And it's about tilling your garden, and you have to till it inch by inch and row by row. So here it was, starting to learn about Hinduism, find out that I had to leave my shoes outside. I couldn't sit with my wife. Guys would come over from India, and they start talking in Telugu, and everybody would be cheering. And I said, how can I do this? So I'm listening to this Irish song one night, and the song went, inch by inch, row by row, I'm gonna make my garden grow. All I need is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch and row by row, God protect the seeds I sow. Keep them warm in the ground till the rain comes tumbling down. So I thought about that song. And I thought, what if I just said as God, I said Swami, because Swami is God. And then I started to just pick away at this inch by inch and row by row. And instead of a garden that I was tilling, it would be my spiritual garden. So I started to sing that song. And when I got to Bobak House, I started to teach the kids this song. And these kids would sing this song. And some of these teachers thought I was crazy. What are you teaching these kids Irish songs for? And they loved the garden song. So we're going to sing the garden song right now. I'll start it off, and then you follow me, okay? And think about your spiritual garden rather than your... So it's inch by inch and row by row. I'm gonna make my garden grow. All I need is a rake and a hoe. And a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch and row by row. Swami bless the seeds I sow. Keep them warm in the ground. Till the rain comes tumbling down. So I started singing that song all the time, and I started to realize that I couldn't do this and learn Hinduism and Swami and the Bhagavad Gita and the Ramayana in 1 year. So I decided that I would just become an Irish Hindu and Swami devotee, and I would do it inch by inch and row by row. And so, and I found out that in the as we raise our consciousness level, it doesn't have to be hard. When I first came to India, into Indian culture, I didn't know how to meditate. I saw some guy sitting on the Himalayas, and he had ice cubes on his beard, and he was sitting there, and it was 43 degrees below zero, and he was there for 6 months. And I thought, I can't do that. And maybe good for him. I wish I could, but I can't. So I had to figure out a way, at that time I was in my 50s, how I could figure out a way to do that, and at the same time do things that I was comfortable with and use and reuse what worked for me, at the same time following these. So I started working on it. And one of the things I started thinking about was Sohams. Now, Sohams means I am God, right? I am a goddess. I'm a god, I'm a god. We're all gods and goddesses. And as our consciousness level gets higher and higher, we know who we really are. And so if you say Sohams over and over again, it means I am God. But what happens, what if we said the Sohams and asked Swami to send the energy out from our Sohams to different places in the world that needed our help? And it would almost be like the Ekanabhajans, right? You would be sending energy out, higher level consciousness energy out. It would give you and me a higher level consciousness. And it would also help raise the consciousness level of the planet. So if you really believe it, so if you don't believe it, you shouldn't say it. But so I would ask Swami can we send some sohums out? So I started doing it in a class. And I had these kids, 11 years old, and I was 2C. And we said, okay, let's send some sohums out to the world. Where should we send them? And one little girl says, the polar bears don't have enough ice. Let's send some three sohums to the solar bears. So we went sohum, sohum, sohum. And everybody in class sent the sohums to the solar bear. So one little girl says, I don't believe any of this. It's a waste of time. Do I have to leave the class? I said, no. I'd rather have you be honest. Don't send them. But can you be kind and gentle and quiet when everybody else is doing it? And she said, yeah. By the end of the 6 months, she was singing the sohums like everybody else. She just fell in love with it. There's something magical about it. So what happens if we send the sohums? Let's just think about it. Let's just say somebody says, and I say it all the time, I can't stand the fact that Palestinian children are being killed in Gaza. It's hard for me to think about it. If you're connected to everybody, and it's hard for me to see soldiers in Ukraine or some Russian 19-year-old kid who was drafted and is in a trench somewhere waiting to die. So I said, what if we sent 3 sohums and put our energy into it, and we sent the sohums to somewhere in Gaza? What would happen? First of all, we have an instant connection with Swami, right? We're sending the sohums out to Swami, for Swami, and then we don't know what happens to them. But if we really believe in Swami, we know something's going to happen. Just maybe one rebel drops his weapon. Maybe one little kid walking across the road with no food meets a pilgrim who gives him enough food to last for the day. Maybe because of these sohums, a little bird finds the last twig for his nest so he can have the babies. That's up to Swami. But if we really believe it, and we say the sohums, and we say them with love in our heart, we have an instant connection to Swami. And I've talked to a lot of people that can't meditate. Their minds are too busy. But if you say sohums, you're meditating with Swami, if you really believe he's there. So what are some of the examples? Anybody have any examples of where you want to send your sohums? If you believe they're going to work, where would you want to send them? Give me an example. Yes. Okay, let's thank you, Dr. T. Let's say all of us now, let's connect with Swami, and let's say 3 sohums for all the hungry in the world. And believe, we don't know how, that those 3 sohums are going to raise the consciousness level where something good is going to happen. It's going to raise our consciousness level. Swami's with us, and it's going to raise the consciousness level of the planet and the universe. That's what I believe. And I believe that's how we're going to make the world a better place. And we're going to do it inch by inch and row by row. So let's say 3 sohums for all the hungry in the world. Okay, you ready? So okay, anybody else? Anybody else want to say some sohums? Yes, ma'am. For world peace, okay. You know, when I was a young kid and I was in the Catholic Church, my favorite prayer was, for him was, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. For world peace. Right, let's those 3 sohums. Thank you. When I was teaching it was about 10 years ago with Jay Sri Selinsky, who's a good friend of mine, and her husband, Mukesh, who passed, was also a good friend. And Jay Sri and I were in a class, and we did 21 sohums. And she timed it. And it took a minute and 18 seconds to do 21 so hums. Now just think, if everybody in this room decided to do 21 so hums every day for world peace, that would have the same impact as the Economachans. How hard is it? So hum. And you're connected with Swami, and you're in a meditative state. And you get there without, lights flashing and sitting still for 30 minutes and being afraid, I can't. My monkey mind isn't thinking when I'm sending so hums. I'm one with Swami, and I'm sending the so hums. So if everybody here did 21 so hums for a minute and 18 seconds every day, we could make the world a better place, inch by inch and row by row. And what happens is positive energy has attractors. And when we send positive energy out, it attracts other people, and positive energies go out, right? Now what happens when we send negative energy out? They have attractors too, and there's negative energy. So right now there's, yes sir, are you just stretching, or you have a question? I wish I had my hair to scratch like that. That's good. Anybody, so anyway, anybody else have a place where they want us to send the so hums? Yes. Where? That's really good. Can you imagine being a homeless person right now with all this cold and no medicine and no food? It would be very hard, wouldn't it? And so let's send not just the homeless in Houston and Dallas, but all throughout the world. Let's send 3 so hums to the homeless. So hum. So hum. So hum. Okay, a couple more.
All the families traumatized by gun violence across the world.
Thank you. I pray to Hanuman every day to take the guns and the weapons out of this planet. If there were no weapons, there wouldn't be anybody who could traffic them. So thank you. For all the guns and the weapons and all the people that are traumatized by it, let's go 3 so hums. Thank you. So hum. So hum. So hum. Well, let's do one more. Yes, sir. Discrimination to the yeah, so they could be kinder. It's the other thing I do in my meditation every day. I ask that the leaders of the democracies are kinder and the dictators are kinder. If everybody was kinder, we wouldn't have any wars. And that whole thing about power versus force, the more internal power we have and the kinder we are, the less we need to control other countries. Thank you. All right, so hums for the so hum. So hum. So hum. Now, how hard was that? Was that easy? Yeah. You have an instant connection with Swami. You're raising your consciousness level. You're raising the consciousness level where Swami's sending the energy, and you're raising the consciousness level in the planet. How hard is that? It's easy, right? And I'm looking for a little more easy than I don't want to be on the Himalayas freezing. Okay, so another thing Swami talked about raising the consciousness level is Namasmarana. And Swami said, he said it so many times, that if you want to be liberated in the Kali Yuga, you say Namasmarana over and over again, right? I'm a copycat. I really am. If somebody tells me to do something, I do it. And I say Om Shri Sai Ram at least 300 times a day. How hard is it? My twin brother, who's a Christian, his mantra is Rama. I said, how'd you get to Rama from? He said, I don't know, it just come to me. And every day he says Rama, 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 over and over and over again. How hard is it? You're in a traffic jam. Dirty, rotten Rashafats or Om Shri Sai Ram. How hard is it? So I really think that Namasmarana is one of the easiest and kindest things we can do to remind ourselves that we are gods and goddesses, that we can instantly connect to who we really are, we know who we really are, and send that energy out to everybody else. Easy. And so what I'm talking about, as Dr. Deese mentioned, the first thing is to find out where we are with our consciousness level, to try to get it up, to keep it higher. And the more we do that, I keep feeling your love in me over and over again. The more we do that, the more we get love from Swami. And it's a never-ending, magnificent cycle. And it's not hard. It's easy. And I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, and a lot of people know more about this than I do, so I don't want to preach. If I do, tell me to stop. The next thing, I guess, and the Sai Center knows it more than I do, is service. I wandered around in the Catholic Church, and then as a agnostic, and then I finally got to the Sai Center 30 years ago. I've never seen service like I've seen in a Sai Center. And I've never, ever, ever seen a Sai Center in person give service without a smile on his or her face. Sally and I used to do the Ocean Street Shelter in Dallas all the time. And she would, two of us would make our part was making a big salad, or part of a big salad. And we'd feed sometimes 350 people. And I tell you, I'm a big football fan, that was more fun than the Super Bowl. We would go there, and it would be cold, and there would be 350 people there. And in the middle of the service, they'd stand up and give us a standing ovation. And we did it once with the one Boy Scout troop, and we had peanut butter and jello sandwich and a couple of bananas. Sai Center, pasta, and beautiful vegetarian, the stuff you put on the pots, the sauce, and bananas and salads and milk and bananas and cake. It was incredible, and it was such a service of love. There was a lady, Ann Smith, who recently passed away, and they used to call her, she was a member of the Sai Center, the Mother Teresa of Dallas. She was under the bridges giving out bagels to people at 6 o'clock in the morning on a cold Sunday, all by herself. She was the Mother Teresa of Dallas. When I was in SSC, we used to do nursing homes. And when we went to nursing homes, I'd be out playing bingo with some of the people, and the kids would, the 11-year-olds would be into the bowels of the nursing home. They knew where to go, and they would start being gentle and kind to people who were too sick to get out of their bed. The service center at the Sai Center, is, you could talk all day about it, but it's all about, the higher up you go, the more you realize, and I'm sure you know this, that we're all one, right? So you're really serving yourself when you serve somebody else. And the service at the Sai Center, I've never seen anything like it. And it's one of the things that attracts me so much to it. Would you agree with that? And it doesn't matter if you're in Indonesia, Houston, Dallas. It's just something about this magnificent God that showed us the way on how to do service. We went to Buddha Party. He worked 24/7. Not that we should have to work 24/7. We're not avatars, but we can use him as an example. So I think and that's another way to raise the consciousness level of not only the planet but ourselves. I've learned a lot about prayer from Dr. Disha. She really believes in prayer. And the more you pray, and the more you pray to Swami, the more, and if it's sincere, and you really know it's there, the more it will be answered. I had 5 uncles in World War II. Come from a family of proud military warriors. My grandfather was in World War I. I had 5 uncles in World War II. I had a brother that spent many tours in Vietnam. My twin brother and I were both officers in the Army, and I was involved in the Cuban crisis. I had 2 sons serving the first Persian Gulf War, and my oldest was a fighter pilot, Marine fighter pilot. And I had never prayed so hard in my life when he was flying over in Kuwait. I never prayed so hard, and I believe that our prayers are answered, and Dr. D has convinced me of that. She says, you just keep praying and Swami will find a way. You just keep praying and he'll find a way. And the more you pray and the more you connect with this beautiful, beautiful God, the more your consciousness level goes, the more that energy goes out, and the better off we are. I do some work with people in other areas, some India, some in other places, that have some problems. And Dr. D said, you just keep praying and ask Swami to help you, and he'll find a way. And I believe it. So that's another way to raise our consciousness level up, and it's another thing that isn't hard to do. How hard is it to pray? I guess there's a correlation, I guess, with faith, right? And there's another area, and in the book Power versus Force, this guy talks about, Hawkins talks about the importance of kindness. And I have been really interested in random acts of kindness. It just happened. I can remember I was a basketball player. I was playing at La Salle Academy. I was in the JV, and I think I was 14. And we had a famous coach, and it was a powerhouse basketball league. There was no chance I could get to be on a varsity as a sophomore. And my twin brother, who was a better high school basketball player than I was, we played against them on the JV, and then he dressed for varsity. So this coach is supposed to be getting his team ready, this Mr. Buckley, our coach. And all of a sudden he runs through the crowd and he grabs me by the shoulders and said, "Get dressed, Jackie. If your brother can play varsity, so can you." And I'll never forget it. I was 14 years old, and I said, I'm going to run through a wall for this guy. And I worked so hard. By the time I was a senior, I got a basketball scholarship at La Salle, which was very hard to get. And when I graduated, I had 6 college basketball scholarships, all because of this guy who believed in me and his random act of kindness that he didn't have to do. I was not too long ago running around the track. Sally and I like to go to the rec center in Dallas, in Plano. She swims, and she keeps asking me to swim, and I said no. I walk around run around the track. She keeps saying, "Oh, you got to swim." I said, "No, I don't got to swim." So I run around the track, and she swims. I walk around the track. So I was walking around the track about 3 months ago, and there were maybe 15 people on the track, and it was kind of a somber morning, I guess. Nobody was speaking to anybody. And this lady stopped by me and says, "Your shoelace is open." said, thank you. I went down and back up. She said, stay still. And she bent down and she tied my shoelace. She was 51, I'm 84. Okay. It was a random act of kindness. The whole track changed, and you could see the energy changing. A guy was hugging his wife. It's just like Chicago. I know a man who danced with his wife, you know. It was like all of a sudden people started smiling. And it was like you could feel the energy level on the track changing by that one random act of kindness. And I said to the lady, that's a random act of kindness. She said, your shoe was untied, you needed it tied. I tied it for you. I said, no, that was a random act of kindness. It changed everything on the track. Her name is Michelle. I found her name. She found my name. I make everybody on the track feel good when I walk around, because even the old ladies lap me. They all go past me, so I make everybody feel good. And Michelle has become my friend. Sally, my wife Sally, we go for walks, and she's in the nature, and she's always looking down. And all of a sudden, she'll see a beetle that's upside down, and the ants are starting to eat the beetle. So she'll pick the beetle up, blow the ends off, put the beetle back, and on its way. I tell you that random act of kindness reverberates out the entire universe. How hard is it to be cognizant enough to just be kind? There's all kinds of stories about some guy in New York in an apartment house, and every time he got out, he said hello to everybody, waved to everybody. And one day he wasn't there. Where's Harry? It's like I need his energy lifted everybody's energy up for the day. How hard is that? And that raises the consciousness level of the planet. And so I have to start doing some random acts of kindness, but you can't plan a random act of kindness. It has to happen. So there are all kinds of stories in New York where businessmen, they run out of money to give to people, and they start doing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Every night they do 100 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and they give them out, and they're always taken. Because the homeless are in New York too. They're all over the place. The other thing I think is journaling. Who journals here? Anybody journaling? You guys, young people, journal? Anybody else? I think it's, who are we? Who are we? What are our gifts? How can we create value? How can we serve Swami? And sometimes journaling is really something that helps me. And there was the fellow that introduced Sally and I to Sai Baba, he and his wife, Jack Ahearn. He's 90 years old now. He lives in Palm Springs. And I call him frequently. And he coined a term, this was years ago, constant spiritual awareness. And so what he was saying was that you don't need to compartmentalize your spirituality with anything else. And I journal on that all the time. So when I was a young boy, we'd go to church on Sunday for 1 hour. I did my job, that's it. No more, I'm done, right? And then I would compartmentalize, and this would be my sports, and this would be my studying, and this would be this. And Jack Ahearn said, no. Your life is a meditation. Your whole life. So you don't compartmentalize this, you just you're in a traffic jam. You're in a traffic jam. So what do? Dirty, rotten Rasafrats? Om Shri Sai Ram. Thank you, Swami. I know you're with me. Please help me, keep me safe, and bless the other people. You go to a sporting event, cricket match, or a baseball game, it doesn't matter. And you bring Swami with you. You're eating your food and you're doing your beautiful, I love the I still can't say it, but the, the prayer before the Indians eat their meal, it's just so beautiful. Swami's there when you're eating the food. He's there when you're cooking it. He's there when you're working. He's there when you're driving to work. One more random act of kindness. This is about 10 years ago, I went down to a Houston retreat, and it was Sally and I and a lady, Robin, from Fort Worth. And she was late getting there, so we left on a Friday, later than I wanted to leave, the day before Labor Day. And I was in a foul mood. And the foul of my mood was, the worse the traffic was. I'm sure that had something to do with it. And I said, why the hell do they have to have a retreat on Labor Day? It's Friday before Labor Day. Why do we? And I was thinking, my God, this is so terrible. And 7 hours later, we got on the thruway. And in those days, they didn't have any toll tags. Maybe they did, but they were all booths. So we were 20 minutes behind a toll booth. And I was another half hour away from our hotel room. And I was really losing it. And I got to the toll booth, and I put the money out, and the lady said, no charge, sir. I said, why not? She said, well, the lady 5 cars ahead of you just gave me $200 and told me to pay everybody's toll until $200 ran out. I couldn't believe it. I was cheering. My mood changed. I was happy. Everybody in the car was glad that I was finally happy. It was a random act of kindness. And I'll never forget that lady. I'll never know who she is. She gave the guy $200 and said, pay everybody's toll till the money runs out. Who does that? Swami. This lady did it, I know that. It was so random acts of kindness. So constant spiritual awareness. Who am I? I'm a young God. I'm an old guy and I'm a young God. I'm Jack. Okay, thank you. That's wonderful. What are my gifts? How can I create value? See, there's a lot of, Tim and I were talking about it today. He does a lot of listening to good spiritual leaders. And a lot of these talks are how we can become spiritual and self-actualize. But they stop there. And the fact that they tell us that we can become self-actualized is really good. But they don't go to the next step, which is to serve our fellow man, which also, and women, which also makes us happier. So I think journaling is good. I try to, when I get in trouble, I journal. So let's do something a little different right now. What I want you to do, and you young folks, I want you to do it too, all of us. I want you to take Swami on a brief trip. I want you to, we'll sit down, we'll do a little light movement, just light meditation, and then I want to ask you to take Swami wherever you want to take him. You can take him to a waterfall, you can take him to your living room and with a fireplace and have hot chocolate with him. You can take him on a soccer match or a rugby game or cricket match. You can take him on a hike, you can take him to the beach. Oh, you can go to Bermuda. Okay, Sally's going to take Swami to Bermuda. All right, so the thing is, Swami's real and he's with us. And I promise you that if you are in a meditation like this and you take Swami, you ask Swami to go where you want to take him, he'll be there. Even though it's a meditation, Swami will be there. It's not like, and it's just like, well, he just will be. So what I want to do is this, we'll move a little light around, and then from 3 minutes to 4 minutes, take Swami on a trip. Is that okay? Take him where you want to take him. Okay, so everybody sit still. So hum, so hum, so hum. Okay, take the light from your third eye, move it to your forehead, and say, Swami, please let me think only good. And move that beautiful light to your eyes and say, let me see only good. To your ears, let me hear only good. Move it to your mouth. Swami, let me speak only good. Move that beautiful light to your heart and say, let me love all and serve all and help ever and hurt never. To your soul plexus, let me be confident like you. And to your base, let me be grounded like you. Just move the light through your body. And now I want you to just take Swami wherever you want to take him. Just do 3-4 minutes and see where it takes you. I keep feeling your love in me over and over again. And it's sweeter and sweeter as the days go by. Oh, what a love between my sigh and I. Okay, slowly but surely, come back to Earth. Anybody have any experiences they want to share? Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir. It feels refreshing. Where'd you take Swami? Wow! And it felt refreshing? Are you glad you did it? I think if you get into this meditation that way, that at a point in time you'll find it more fun than a video game. I think so. All right, anybody else? Yes. To where? Oh, good. Thank you. They're good. Didn't you enjoy it? He's going to be a pilot. Yes, young lady. Wow. You took Swami on, was it fun? Oh, good. Did you enjoy it? Okay. So you don't have to be on a mountain with icicles coming down your beard to connect with Swami. Not that there's anything wrong with that if you're at that level, but you don't have to be. Anybody else? Pardon me? Yes, sir. Wow. Did you enjoy it? Well, good. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes. Oh, good. Wow, good. Do you, where? Backyard. That's good. That's wonderful. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes? That's good. What'd you do? Oh, wonderful. I was born in New York. I've been to the Statue of Liberty. Sally and I have been to the Statue of Liberty. I love the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, anybody else? Okay. How many people here are familiar with Eckhart Tolle? He's a spiritualist, and he talks about staying in the present moment and the importance of controlling our mind. And one of the ways he says that, by the way, Dr. Z, how much time do I have? All right, 25 minutes, we're okay. So he says that if you connect to your body, you're in the present moment while you're doing it. So he talks about self-healing. He talks about our bodies, and I need to think about it over and over and over again, our temples for Swami, right, and for our souls. So it's important that we take care of our bodies. And I'm sure everybody knows that. I know it, I don't always do it. So he says if you're looking at your body and you're feeling, making sure your brain is intact, and you're looking at your eyes and you're checking on your heart and your lungs, and you're taking deep breaths, and you're saying, I am God, therefore I'm going to take care of my body. I'm a goddess, I'm going to take care of my body. That you're in the present moment when you're doing that. You're not thinking about your mortgage payment, or it's Friday afternoon and I've got to drive to Houston on Labor Day weekend, or you're not thinking about anything like that. You're connecting at a deep, 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 deep level. And I guess for the past 30 years I've been working on healing. And we have chakras inside our body. Of course, you know that come from India, and our base chakra is red, and our sacral is orange, and our solar plexus is yellow, and our heart chakra is green, and then your throat chakra is blue, third eye is indigo, and crown chakra is purple. And you have inside you this magnificent rainbow. And with each part of this body is also your bodily organs. So in your brain, in your crown chakra, you've got your brain and your skull, and your eye, and you obviously in your third eye, you've got your eyes and your ears and your nose, and in the throat chakra, you've got your mouth and your tongue and your hands and your shoulders, your arms, and obviously the heart chakra is the heart and the lungs. And then your solar plexus, your intestines, and then you got your reproductive organs, and you've got your base, and which helps you ground. So each one of these organs, so if somebody's sick and they connect to the part of them that's in trouble, that's at dis-ease, and they know where the chakra is, or they have a healer or a doctor knows where the chakra is, they can get help, but they also can get some advice. About 11 years ago, I had a quadruple bypass, and I needed to figure out what I needed to do. Obviously, I went to a doctor, and I got terrific training, and then I started reading Louise Hay, and I didn't like what I read, but I read it, and she said, anybody has a heart attack, the term heart bypass is pretty good, because they're probably bypassing their heart when they're interacting with people. And I said, whoa. And I started to look at my interactions, and there's a correlation between our health and our chakras and how we interact. So I started to think about my heart and thinking about it more than just an organ, but how I would interact with everybody and make sure that I was heartfelt in my communications. So I think it's important that we stay in the present moment, and as we stay in the present moment, I think it's important that we take care of our bodies. And so what I would like to do, if it's okay, and I think we have enough time to do it, is take it through a kind of like a healing meditative session, about 15 minutes. Can we do that? Okay. Everybody take a deep breath. And I keep feeling you loving me over and over again. And it's sweeter and sweeter as the days go by. Oh, what a love between my side. Okay, let's start out with 21 Sohams. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, let's take 9 deep breaths and breathe through your nose. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. All right, take the beautiful light from your third eye and move it through your body. Move it through your head and your eyes and your ears and your nose and your throat and your heart and your lungs and your stomach and your base. Just move that beautiful light through your whole body. And let's do 3 Gayatri mantras. Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhako Devasya Dhimahi Diyor Yona Prachodaya Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhako Devasya Dhimahi Diyor Yona Prachodaya Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhako Devasya Dhimahi Diyor Yona Prachodaya Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So let's go over the chakras now. Remember, your base chakra is red, your sacral is orange, solar plexus is yellow, heart chakra is a beautiful emerald green, throat chakra is blue, third eye is indigo, crown chakra is purple. So each one of us has this magnificent rainbow inside our body. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, purple, purple, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Swami just tapped you on the head, and all that energy turns into pure, pure, pure white light. So he's going to go through your body now, and we're going to ask him to please send light to our body. So he's putting energy in right now. Just feel it. He's putting energy into your forehead, to your skull, to your back of your head and your neck. And the energy is going down your back, through your shoulders, arms, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, hands, fingers, lungs, heart, solar plexus, intestines, so forth. So start with your head. He's putting energy now also into your brain, into your mind. The energy is now going into your eyes, so you can see better than you see right now. Swami's grace. And it's going into your ears so you can hear better. And he's putting energy into your nose so you don't have any sinus issues. He's putting energy into your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, your throat and your thyroid. Energy is going back down your shoulders, down your arms, hands, fingers. It's going into your lungs. Take a couple of deep breaths. He's putting energy into your lungs. He's putting energy into your heart. And whenever he puts energy in my heart, I remind myself that I don't need to bypass my heart to anybody or anything. I keep feeling your love in me over and over again. And it's sweeter and sweeter as the days go by. Oh, what a love between my side and thine. Now he's putting energy into your solar plexus, into your large intestines and your small intestines. And he's putting energy now into your sacral area, reproductive organs, and your kidneys. He's putting energy into your base, so you be grounded like Mother Earth. And he's putting energy into your upper legs, your knees, kneecaps, lower legs. Now he's really doing this, and the energy is actually going through you right now. Saw you are more precious than silver. Saw you are more value than gold. Saw you are more beautiful than diamonds. Nothing I desire compares to you. My Sai, you are both Rama and Krishna. Sai, you are the sun and the moon. Sai, you are this universe unfolding. Everything I see belongs to you. Everything I touch belongs to you. Everything I am belongs to you. Om Shri Sai Ram. Om Shri Sai Ram. Om Shri Sai Ram. So we're going to go through the chakras again. Say, Swami, please help me open up my crown chakra so as a young god and a young goddess I can become you. Please, Swami, help me open my third eye so I can see all creation as one. The people, the animals, the fishes. The plants, the minerals, the vegetables. Everything on the planet I'm one with. Please let me be one with all creation. Let me see all as one with me. He's putting energy now into your throat center. Say, Swami, please let me speak like you. You speak so clear and so kindly. Let me speak like you. I'll do my part. Just help me open up that center. Help me up my heart center so I can continue to do the 8 greatest words that were ever spoken on the planet. Please let me love all and serve all and help ever and hurt never. Please, Swami, as you open up my solar plex center, help me be confident like you. The more confident I am in myself and in my divinity, the more I can serve you. Please, Swami, help me to open up my sacral center so I continue to be pure like you, and my base so I can continue to be grounded like you. And please put energy into my upper legs and my knees and kneecaps again, and my lower legs and my feet, so I can be pure. I can walk like you. Om Shri Sai Ram, Om Shri Sai Ram, Om Shri Sai Ram. Alleluia, 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 Sai Baba, alleluia, alleluia, alleluia. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. Can I say one more thing about meditation? The one thing I want to say is that a lot of people come to me and they ask me for techniques. I can remember I was with Dr. Sola. I was at a retreat with him in Arkansas. I didn't talk to him personally. He was doing a meditation with Swami every day. One day he didn't show up. So he was shaving the next morning and he saw Swami's picture in the mirror. And he says, Swami, what do you want? He says, where were you this morning? And Sola says, I was with my colleagues last night and I couldn't, and Swami said, I was here. I had an appointment with you and you didn't show up. So at that time I was a sporadic meditator. And I came back to Dallas and I told Sally, I got to do better at this. And for the next 7 years, every morning I woke up at 4:30 and I meditated from 4:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday, and I never missed. And I was working with a guy, his name was Marvin Vidito, Afro-American man, good friend of mine. And he wanted to be the best golfer in Dallas. He was 70 years old. And he went out every day of the week, and he shot, I don't know, low 70s as a 70-year-old man. And I meditated every day of the week. And guess what? He got good at golf, and I got good at meditation. You get good at what's important to you. So I'm meditating a lot of time. I like to go to the Shirdi temple, and I meditate in front of Shirdi. And a lady came up to me today, and, the other day, and said, "What technique should I use?" And I said, "I can't tell you that. I don't really care about technique. You have to want it. It has to be so important to you that you're going to spend time doing it. How hard is that? And you could take Swami on trips. You can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to be at the Himalayas with icicles on your beard. You can be right here." So as a result of Dr. Solo, I became a constant meditator, and I go deeper and deeper and deeper, and I keep feeling your love in me over and over. The deeper you go, the more he loves you. So my advice is, you'll find out the technique you want, but you need to do it. And then from there, you'll figure out the technique. It's Jodi meditation. Dr. Solo, again, has a meditation now that I fall in love with, where you actually connect to the whole universe. You start out with your city, and then you go from your city to your state, and then you go from the state to the country, then you go to the world, and then you go to the sky and the rain and the galaxies and the stars and the universe. And it works for me, but figure out what works for you. But if you don't really commit to it, it's not going to happen. Doesn't matter what technique you use if you're doing it once every 2 weeks. Or you decide, I think I'll do it real fast today for 2 minutes. If you really want to get good at meditation, you need to work at it. It needs to be as important to you as anything else. And once again, that's a choice, and I'm not saying you have to do it, but if you want to do meditation, the effort and the energy you put into it is more important than the technique. The technique will come to you. Okay? Thanks. Yes?
So my question is, what motivated you to do it every single day from 4:30 to 5:30 for 7 years?
I think I realized that I was wasting my time doing it once a week. And I just had such a desire to get better at it. And the thing that was really interesting, the techniques changed as I changed. So I just had, I don't know exactly what it was. I just was so, I've never met Dr. Solo. I hope I do someday. And he just motivated me. And the thought of Swami, I think this was really what motivated me. The thought that Swami said, "I have an appointment with you," and you weren't there. Here's the Lord of the universe, and I'm supposed to be there, and so I did it. I mean, and it got to the point where it wasn't hard. It got to the point, I said, I can't miss this. This has become who I have become, and it's important. Sorry, yes, ma'am. Right. Well, first of all, you could do the take Swami on a trip a little bit. But what I do is Namasmarana. I just go Om Shri Saram, 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 Om Shri Saram. And if it gets really bad, I wrap myself like this and I jump into Swami's womb. And I say, "You're my mother God. Remember that bhajan, you are the Lord of my heart and my soul, Lord of my life, it's beyond my control. I can't stop thinking, Swami, help me." And I just curl up and I jump into his womb and I just say, "Please, help me." But I would try, I'd start out with the silent sitting for 5 minutes and take him on a trip. Make it as easy as possible and consistent as possible. And at the very least, you can do 21 sohams. Because when you do the sohams, you're absolutely connected to him immediately. I don't know if that helps, but I hope the best you can, that's all we can do. Anybody else? Okay, thank you very
So
much.
we have time for another couple of questions. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Anyone from the men's side? Andy? No.
Oh,
Wonderful.
well, I can say one more thing, if
Sure,
that's right.
sure, sure.
When Sally was in business, she was a very good business person. Swami told her to get out of the business world. So she did. And she started doing spiritual work every morning and every afternoon. And so she had a journal and she'd write and she'd do this and she'd do that. And I could ask her, what are you doing? She said, well, I'm focusing on who I really am. And I asked about 3 times. I didn't pay any attention to it. I was more interested in becoming president of the world. And then all of a sudden I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm working on who I really am. I said, oh my God. And how are you doing it? So what Sally would do is take a word in the dictionary. And then she would go to Webster and she would get the word, and then she'd add divine word to it. So if it was action, what's the definition for action? And then what's the definition of divine action? And then she would write on it. And I couldn't believe the difference. You can take any word in the dictionary, and you could take the word and you could go to Webster or Google or someplace else, and you could put that word down there. And then you could add divine to it. Now, action. When I was a young man, all my action was done from my lowest self out of my ego. I wanted to be president of the world. I was driving for success. And sometimes I did good things, sometimes not so good. And sometimes you can be in your ego and you could be disastrous. But now, when you take the word divine action, what would you do? I always go right to Swami. And I figure out, I go inward first and then go outward. So instead of acting out of my lowest self, I'm acting out of my higher self. So all you have to do is take any word in a dictionary and add divine to it. And Sally's the one that started this whole thing. We have a Satsang group. We meet once a week and we give a topic and everybody comes up with action. Then we try to go into our higher selves and say, what's divine action? And it's magnificent stuff. When I was about 12 years ago, in the Catholic, the Christian Church put out a bracelet. It was WWJD, what would Jesus do? And I started thinking, what would Swami do? I was teaching Bhavakas. I really thought I was a hotshot. But sometimes I would give stuff out to the kids and I wouldn't read it myself. So I said, what would Swami do? Well, I know what Swami would do. He would get into the details and he would make sure that he knew what was going on before he handed the kid. So I made sure from that point on that I read everything I read and I knew all about it before I handed it out to one of the students. So I think if you look at everything you're doing and you add the word divine to it, and you go inward first before you do it and you go outward, it will make a difference in your life. And I also think that instead of, I have written on my journals, WWSD. What would Swami do? What would he do in this situation? And you can't go wrong if you figure that out. So that's what I got. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Jack.
Thank you, Brother Jack, for the inspiring and thought-provoking session. I think you provided some very simple, easy tools on how we can elevate our consciousness from going from force to power. I noted down 6 ways. I'm going to say it in order. You can correct me. So I think you started with the Soham meditation, Namasparana, service, prayer, random act of kindness, and then the last one was journaling. So I think all the 6 ones, at least I found, were very simple, easy, time effective. I think anybody from kids to seniors can do. And what I noted was this could be either a personal sadhana or it could be a group sadhana as well. So Few other things I think you touched was taking Swami wherever you like. So, and the takeaway I took was, I mean, this you can actually incorporate on a daily life, not just to the places that you like. You can take Swami wherever you would want on a daily life, be it to work, school. So Swami is actually with you at all times, basically. Not necessarily the times that you want with him in your happy mood, but when there are bumps in your life, Swami is always with you. So I think I took it that way. So, and then the last final session, thanks for the healing session. I think that took us to a different level. Thank you so much, Brother Jack, for the session. Again, thank you, Brother Tim, for bringing Brother Jack and Sister Sally here. Thank you so much. Maybe another round of applause for Brother Jack. Thank you so much. Sai Ram. Brother Jack, we just want to give you we just want to express our small token of love to you. If you can just join us here again, please. Disha ji, if you want to. If you can join here, Brother Tim.